Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Hello and welcome to another episode of Living the Dream with Curveball. I'm your host, Curveball, and today I am joined by a special guest. We're going to be talking about Louie voice control for Android and how it can help you navigate your devices more efficiently. Pramit, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Kurt, for inviting me.
Okay, why don't you start off by kind of giving people maybe a little bit of background, maybe where you're from and anything else that you want the listeners to know?
Sure. So, my name is Pramit, and I'm the founder of Louie Voice Control. And today I am visually impaired, and in a lot of ways, Louie is all about solving my own problem. And of course, in the hope that it will work for other visually impaired friends across the world as well. I used to be somebody with a normal vision. I'm a computer engineer, did my MBA, went on to work with global companies like Unilever, Motorola, Quest Diagnostics. It was about 21 years back, reaction of a drug impacted the retina, and my vision literally overnight dropped quite a bit. I could still get some corrections, so my, of course, I had to do a lot of adjustments. Life continued, the vision kept dropping over the years, and about 9 years back, there was sudden sharp drop. And this was a time when I just didn't know how to deal with it because everything became cloudy, foggy, and I couldn't read anything at all, irrespective of the size of the font. And the vision was still dropping. I just didn't know how to deal with it. So this was almost like a phase of 2.5, 3 years. I call it like a lost phase. But I actually learned a lot because this was a phase when I was just sitting at home, completely dependent on friends and family, even for simple things. Even if I were to dial somebody, or a phone will come. I mean, you can imagine something as basic as that. I was completely dependent, and I seem to have just lost the confidence. It was all in the mind. I was trying to live in the past, trying to relate whether I'll be able to do what I used to do earlier when my vision was better and I was at senior level jobs. And there was this whole fright. I can't do PowerPoint, I can't do Excel sheets and so on. So this continued for about 3 years. Gradually came out of it, got into consulting, and I think then a series of things happened, events which basically got me into building Louis Voice Control.
Okay, so how do you feel this app will help others and just kind of talk about Louie voice control, talk about the features of it?
Sure. So I'll probably just go back to how the inspiration came, and I would just talk about two important events. So one was a chance meeting with senior executive at a big venture capital company. It's based out of US, but very big in India. And he heard my story, and he heard the what I was saying about the at that time the solutions which were available, which was primarily screen reader. And he sort of just in the middle of the meeting he said, why don't you build apps for visually impaired people like you? And I was taken aback. He said, he'll help me in starting this off. I had no idea what to do, and the other thing, then he asked me, okay, because see, sometimes I realize it's easy to criticize. It's easy to, say, oh, this app is not good, that is not good. We all do that. But the moment he turned it around, he said, okay, but you'll have to define what is good. And I can tell you, Curtis, I mean, it's a different ball game. Trying to put together, on a half sheet of paper, what is good. I mean, what will really be good. So, with that back of my mind, another chance even happened. I had gone to meet a friend. He took my smartphone and he offered to book Uber for me. And he asked me my destination, put it into Uber. Uber threw up three, four options. He told me the options. I told him, okay, select this one. Similarly, we went to the ride screen. He told me the rides available, the fares. I said, okay, take this one. He reconfirmed everything with me, including how I'm going to pay my pickup point and so on. And he then confirmed. He even called and messaged a driver for me. Now, on the way back in Uber, I just felt that there was something special about this experience. As a visually impaired, I want to be independent, I want to be in control. This experience was, of course, convenient, but I was the one making the decisions all the time. So a thought came like a flash, and I said, what if I were to build a virtual friend right there on the phone screen, which will work exactly like my human friend was doing? So it will do a continuous voice interaction with me. It will take my voice commands. It will do each and everything within a supported app for me just with my voice commands. And it will do that special handholding which somebody like me who cannot see the screen requires. And this is really how Louis voice control was born. And the concept is therefore very simple. Can I, with just voice commands, control all my popular apps as well as the critical phone features? All this with just voice commands.
Well, how did you connect it to those apps, or how does the back end work to where you can make it work with something like Uber, and just kind of give other examples of what apps the Louis voice control works with?
Correct. So I think I'll first answer the technology and how we are able to do it. So this is something interesting. So when when this vision flashed in my mind, I always looked at it as something that it's almost like a sighted virtual friend. So the way the vision was that look, the app is opening up, and I am able to of course I can't see the screen, but I'm able to do each and everything on the screen. So what Louis does, Louis actually works on top of the screen, because we initially actually built a screen reader. So because we mastered that, so we had the technology to work on top of the screen, and we can also work under the screen, deep inside the Android operating system level also. So this gives us great flexibility to be able to handle all kind of apps. Now, currently we do Uber, WhatsApp, YouTube, contacts, phone calling, text messaging is just going in, and a whole lot of phone settings, all with just voice commands. And like I said, so the great thing about what we are doing is that we don't need any integration with any of the apps. So if, for example, you take Uber, we actually completely did it on our own. And in fact, I had an opportunity to present Louis, voice controlling Uber at one of the leadership summits of Uber, and where they had no idea. They had just invited me as a visually impaired to, like your podcast says, how I would live, how I would like to live my dreams, really. And the offers they have helped us in terms of giving us a test account. Otherwise, just doing Uber booking for testing, you would have probably gone bankrupt. But we just work independently. That's how it works.
So I know the app is only available for Android right now, but tell us about the plans of getting an iOS version as well.
Yes. So, before that, I'll just like to say that it's a fairly complex technology, and I've been working on it for almost 4 years. And I can tell you, when I started off initially, and I was open because I was open to the platform, Android or iPhone, and every technology expert that I spoke to, every accessibility expert told me cannot be done. Don't waste your life. But I sort of stuck at it. It just so happened that a couple of companies offered to help us pro bono. They did some initial prototyping for us. So we are going to take the same path for iPhone. In fact, we are just right now in the process of looking for some very smart iOS developers across the world. And we have identified a few milestones. We'll do the same kind of feasibility, some initial prototyping in the second half of the year, and hopefully have it out for iPhones as well.
Sounds good. I definitely would like to check it out. Why don't you do a demonstration for listeners so they can kind of hear what how the app works and what they can expect? They go download it from Google Play.
Okay, so I am going to do Uber only, right? And I'm doing it on my. By the way, I use a very old phone, 3 year phone. So if you see pauses, that's when Uber is opening up. It takes a bit of a time on my phone. So there are various ways to start, Louis. One of them is, hey Louis, book Uber for Hotel Radisson. So the app is opening up right now. Bureau, Gramsona Road, City Center, Maine, Sona Road. Madison Hotel Bureau, Gramsona Road, City Center. Select. Let's select by reading rides from low to high fare. So it reads rides from low to high fares. Touch with two finger to select ride. Uber XL 6 751. Discounted price 121.00. Actual price 143.51. Affordable SUV rides. Moto 1 19.00. So the first ride was actually marked as a favorite. Send items 33.00. Send packages to friends and family. Touch with two finger to select ride. Uber Auto 3 751. Discount. Uber Auto. Uber Go. Uber Go 4 750. Discounted price 55.00. Actual price 57.54. Affordable. Select. Next. Previous. Marcus favorite and more options. Select. Your pickup location is Wahija Rivanta. Your destination is Radisson Hotel Bureau, Gramsona Road, City Center. Payment method: Uber Cash, 9,958.85. Good to go with. Uber Go. Confirm, edit, or cancel? Confirm. Okay, please wait. Requesting a ride for you. Okay, so it's early morning time here. So let's see how quickly I can get a rider.
And just so the listeners know, those prices were in Indian dollars because Pramit is in India. That wasn't the United States, just so they know.
Yeah, but Louis works in a dynamic way. So, you can use it in any country in the world. Your driver is arriving in 2 min. Driver profile, 4.9 star rating. Message. Speak your message. Please come to Eldeco Mentions. Got it. Please come to Eldeco Mentions. Send. Rewrite. Continue writing or cancel? Send. Message sent. Your booking is confirmed. Your driver is arriving in 2 min. Driver profile, 4.9 star rating. HR 55 86,443. Cancel. Cancel trip? Yes or no? Yes. Booking cancelled. Okay. So the driver was just 2 minutes away. So I'm safe now. No penalties. And hopefully Uber won't kick me out.
Absolutely. So you also have a YouTube channel that breaks this down and talks about this app. Tell everybody about that and any other apps or projects that you might be working on that's upcoming. I know you got the iOS thing, but what else are you working on?
Okay. So I'll just talk about the YouTube channel. So what we have done is we have created literally almost all kind of videos, how-to videos. So there are about 90 how-to videos, and they are built inside the app as well. So if one goes into the demo and FAQ section, the FAQs are really in the form of, how can I book Uber? How can I do this? How can I forward a video in YouTube by a specific number of seconds? So each and everything is there. Now, in terms of going forward, what are the things that we are working on? So I would just break it up into two parts. One are the pain points and the problems that visually impaired like us face, and the other bit is the new apps that we want to do. So talking of problems, like for example, for all of us, image recognition is a big issue. On the New Year, I got 3 New Year greetings, all as images, and I honestly just didn't know what to do with it. So if it's okay with you, what we have just done recently is that we have also completely integrated images within Louis. So for example, in WhatsApp, just like it would read a text message, it can actually seamlessly read an image also. So can I just show you quickly how it does that?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to just do a double shake of the phone. That's actually the easiest way to start it off. Hello, P. Chat with Pramit. Latest message. Received 7:26 p.m. This message contains an image. Would you like me to describe this image? Yes or no? Yes. Opening image. For reading this image, a special permission is required. Only English text will be read. Would you like to continue? Yes or no? Yes. Please wait. This image contains poster. Text written on the image, or we always work for a better tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, instead of enjoying, we again think of a better tomorrow. Let's have a better today. Okay. So this was the text that was there in the image. If there are certain images also on the image, it sort of describes it. Even though I still feel that description got to improve much more. So this was one example of how we are handling images. Similarly, a lot of people told us that Google search, for example, being able to browse around, being able to read articles, there are a whole lot of documents that we get. Being able to read all those documents, even something like a scanned PDF document. Some people asked us to even do simple things like easily receiving calls or disconnecting calls. So these are some of the areas. I mean, there's continuous feedback that we keep getting from users. We have users right now across 90 countries. So there's massive amount of feedback. I mean, every day I get at least 10, 20 feedback. How to improve it? This is not working. Improve that. Can you do this as well? This works well. All kind. The now I'll just talk about what are the new apps that we are working on. So we are currently just started work on email, messenger, and then we want to go on to Telegram and Facebook. We want to do integrate completely with Google Maps as well. So there is already a where am I feature which is there, so we can integrate with Google Maps, so navigation as well as integration with Uber as well. Then we want to do a food ordering app. A lot of people have asked us for that, and even an e-commerce app. So these are some of the plans, I would say, for the next 6 to 8 months. And you would have heard that right now we support English only. So second half of the year is when we look at iPhone, and we also look at branching into more languages, starting with Spanish as a global language.
Sounds good. Sounds like you guys got a lot going on and a lot coming up. So, do you have any way or let the listeners know how they can give feedback? Do you have any social media links, any websites besides your YouTube channel so listeners can keep up with what's going on, any email lists, or how are you keeping listeners up to date with what's going on with the app?
Right. So the easiest way to reach out to me is on email, which is Pramit at louievoice.com. Pramit is spelled out as Pramit, and Louie as Louie. So it is Pramit at louievoice.com. The website is www.louievoice.com. And if you want to use the app, just head over to Google Play Store, search for either just voice control or Louis voice control. And even in the description, my email ID is there. And the feedback can be provided through Play Store. So inside the app, there is a contact us form. So it can be provided through that as well. And when you install it, you will get an initial email which just provides you all the basic tools, including the YouTube channel where all the videos are there, how to get started off. And you can just reply to that and give me your feedback. And I'm really looking forward to it.
So, if somebody wants to subscribe to the YouTube channel, they just go to YouTube and type in Louis Voice Control.
Absolutely.
All
And hit
right.
the subscribe button. Yeah.
Absolutely. And anything else you want to say before we go?
Yeah, if I'm allowed to say two things.
Yeah, go ahead.
One is the most common asked question is how is it different from a Siri or a Google Assistant or an Alexa? So I'll just try to highlight two fundamental differences. So like I said, it's built keeping a blind person in mind. So what we do is a special handholding, which means continuous voice interaction. So it's not like you give a command and then something is done and then again silence. Again you say hey, and then this one does continuous voice interaction. And also it will do each and everything within a supported app. Now that's something again the other voice assistants won't do, because they just do two or three basic things. And like I showed in WhatsApp, it can actually start off from any screen of a supported app. So I was actually inside a chat in WhatsApp, and I just did a double shake and started off from there. So these are three big differences. And Curtis, the other thing I want to just talk about is how the name Louis came. So
Absolutely. Go ahead and let us know about that.
Right, thank you. So we were looking for a short and simple name. I mean, day one we knew that it's going to be a global app. Like I said, there are already users in 90 countries. We one of the ways I said Louis will start off is by saying "Hey Louis," And we needed something short and sweet, something easy for everybody to pronounce, whether you are in South Africa or Russia or US. And one of the agencies actually came up with this, with a name, and it's actually inspired from by the name Louis Braille. And Braille, we all know, I mean, how much impact it has created in our lives. So I think with Louis voice control, if we could create even a very small fraction of that impact, I think we would have achieved our objectives.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate your contribution to the visually impaired community, and I know that others will too. Pramit, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Curtis.
And listeners, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share after listening. For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.